I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's nasty.
That sounds like Cleveland from Family Guy, but that's what's his name from SNL. Hope you guys are having a great day. There's a good reason why I'm playing that soundbite because there's some nasty ass stuff going on, especially in the UK, because there's a survey or a study that was done. But I'm very curious of what that's like here in the US because it might be worse. It might be worse. We'll get into that. Can't wait to get your thoughts on that as well. But real quick, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And remember, today's show is presented to you by Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time, PDR, and Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, as well as NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. Before we get into headlines, I got a lot of great headlines today. Cannot wait. But got to tell you this. I don't slip very often, but I've been using these other shoes that I got, and they're kind of old, but I didn't realize they had shit for traction until we got a snowstorm here in Colorado. It was most of the state got a decent amount of snow. In the Denver metro area, I'm on the north side, and in Thornton, we didn't get that bad compared to some other spots, but bad enough. But the point is, on Saturday morning, because the snow started coming in on Friday, on Saturday morning, it's like 5:45 in the morning. I'm letting the dog, the puppy, out. She's still being potty trained. So I let her outside. Everybody else is sound ass asleep. I let her outside, and I don't want her to bail. I don't want her to just all of a sudden just like run through the house and be like, I'm going to piss and shit everywhere. I ain't going outside. Where's the shit? Come on. You can't make me do that. I didn't want that to happen because she has a mouth of a sailor, that little Boston Terrier of ours. Anyway, so I pick her up like she's a football, right? And I walk out onto the stoop and go to make my way down the few steps that are there. And I was going to walk her out to a certain location where we try to get her to use the bathroom all the time. Again, we just got hit with a snowstorm. So I'm wearing these shoes that I didn't realize were worn out so much on the bottom. They have jack squat for traction. Take one step down, and I just biffed it. I mean, I wish because I have a camera back there, but I didn't have it angled down far enough to get the steps. I have it more towards the approach of the backyard. So, that's just the way I got it. It's more for security, not for, hey, if I fall, it'd be hilarious if I got it on tape. So I fucking just biff it. Thank goodness I didn't crack my head because I look as I fell. Again, I'm holding the dog. I fall. I look over at the dog, and she's just looking at me like, "What the shit are you doing, man? Is it your first day walking? Ha ha ha!" And I look over, and I'm like maybe an inch away from the bricks, so I would have cracked my freaking head open. And I guarantee nobody would have found me for like at least an hour or two because my son slept in that day. So did my wife, and my daughter's all about on Saturday mornings waking up and watching some, little kid shows. She would have just been like, I wonder where dad's at. Wonder where the puppy's at. Oh, well. And I'm just like sitting there in a pool of my own blood. I laugh about it, Jesus. But it was funny. It's kind of on tape because I do have that camera there, but it's just all of a sudden you can see me like grab onto something and it just like shakes the shit out of it. And then I pop back up and take the dog out because I didn't, I cried later. Okay. I didn't want to cry in front of the dog. I needed to show, superiority over her. Be like, I am the dominant. I am not weak. I will cry in my pillow, but not in front of you, little puppy. Oh man, my body hurt for the next basically day and a half. Day and a half. I'm actually recording this right now on Sunday night because tomorrow is Veterans Day. So thanks to all the veterans. So as you hear this, it will be posted on Veterans Day. So again, thanks to all who have served. And I have several people in my family that have served, and I salute them and thank them for their service. Uh, but yeah, it's one of those stupid things. Like I don't slip. Then I realized I have the worst fucking shoes for this. So now I got to buy new shoes. I'm used to wearing, if I wear them, it's in the summertime, doesn't fucking matter. Outside, I am like a freaking deer on ice, like a newborn deer. I'm like, "Woo-hoo." I don't know what that noise was. But you know what? Let's move on. Move away from my lack of coordination. By the way, I did not fumble the dog. That dog is in perfect health. I saved her. If anything, I should be rewarded. But no, my family's just like, oh, you fell? You hurt? Jesus, you guys are a bunch of dicks. I live with a bunch of dicks. Anyway, you know what? Let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
You've probably seen the commercials for it. Maybe you want to go see it. I know my family's going to go see it. I'm not, because I can't stand musicals. It's just one of those things. For whatever reason, they drive me nuts. Mattel is selling dolls that are themed for the new movie, the musical Wicked. The Wicked Witch of the what is it, the West or the West? I don't fucking know. And then the Good Witch, whatever. So that's what the movie is, that's what the play is, and blah 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 blah. Right? Well, Mattel is making Wicked themed dolls, selling them to young kids, and it's great, right? Well, here's the problem. On the back of the packaging, they put the wrong website for kids to get more information about the movie. They told, it says in clear print, it says, go to wicked.com. Well, here's the problem with wicked.com. That's not the Wicked movie website. Guess what it is? It's a porn site. Listen, I had to go check it out. I was like, what kind of porn is it? It's like, it looks like there's a fucking paywall. You can't, I couldn't even really tell what kind of content is there. So it really drives me nuts. I was really trying to come back to you guys. Guys, if you go to wicked.com, it's the classy stuff. It's the classy porn, the stuff that you really wish that everybody would do. No, I don't know what kind it is, but everything's like, click here, and then you click on it, and everything's like, pay now, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, the gist of the story is that Mattel's freaking out. They're like, oh, shit, we should have put wickedmovie.com. Instead, they just put wicked.com, which, by the way, I don't understand that for the porn site. Wicked.com. If you're going to have a porn site that's wicked.com, that's the name of the site, the URL is Wicked. Wouldn't you think that would be just like, goth or something like that? I didn't see one goth, thumbnail or anything like that. I was a little disappointed. It makes me so freaking curious. I'll get to the bottom of it. I'll find a free subscription and I'll do some research. God damn it, I will do it into the middle of the night when nobody's around. But in Mattel's defense, I mean, it kind of makes sense because like it's an honest mistake. because it's not as wicked.com versus wickedmovie.com. That's not noticeable. That's not like noticeable. Oh, shoot, I put in the wrong website. Oh, shoot, it's a porn site. I mean, it's not like it's like Pornhub or now I made up these other ones, but they might be true. You could go on your work computer and tell me if these are true, okay? Junkinmytrunk.com or bigasses.com. I bet that's a porn site. I would imagine. Big asses. Hold on, I've got to go to bigasses.com. That's so crazy. You know, whoever did the final approval on that website just got reprimanded, and whoever's in charge of, Mattel pulled them into their office and they're like, "Did you do this? You signed off on this?" And they're like, yes, I did.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
Then they got fired. I imagine you get fired for something like that because you're selling this to kids. Kids are going to be, and kids have, here's what's funny. Kids have access to the internet nowadays. And they're going to go, "Oh, I want to learn more about the Wicked movie." What the shit? Mom, I need your credit card to find out more info on the Wicked movie. Okay, honey. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. You have to get fired for that. I don't like to call for people to get fired, but you got to get fired for that. If you're directing children to a porn site, yeah. So I played that soundbite of this.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's nasty.
Why did I play that? Because 1 in 6 people in the UK do this one nasty thing. And when I saw the headline for this, I was like, no way that it's going to be something like really bad. I was just thinking that the people writing the article are just stretching it. But this is what the poll was. A new poll of 2,000 adults in the United Kingdom found that 1 in 6 admitted to serving food to guests that had been dropped on the floor.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. That's nasty.
It is nasty. Why would you do that? If I have somebody come over and I drop food, I'm going to be like, fuck. Well, here's the thing. You can wash it off and it should be fine. You might lose a lot of the seasoning, then you're going to have to re-season. I think if you do that, it should be fine. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I did that once at my buddy's house. He was smoking like a brisket. He was smoking some sort of meat. And he's all, "Scott, can you go get that for me? Put it on this and then bring it over." I'm like, sure. And then I wasn't paying attention. The dog, he has these big dogs and they run by me and I dropped it on the deck. I'm like, oh, shit. He was fine about it. We still all ate it. Nobody cared. I think it just depends on the floor that it falls onto, right? If it's a restaurant, that's really jacked up if it hits the floor. But if it's at your house, I don't know. The more I think about it, I don't think it's that bad. But I would feel terrible if I had guests over and I served them, some chicken that fell on the floor. I mean, because the whole time, this is what I would do. I would make sure I got that piece because I don't want my guest to be sitting there going, "Oh, God, there's dog hair in my chicken." You don't want that. Would you ever do that? Have you ever done that? You have? You bastard. I'm sure it's happened to all of us. We just don't know it. We're the recipients of this nastiness. But part of me is just like, guess what? I'm still here. Still fine. Still kicking. Falling down steps. That's not because of, eating dirty food. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Unless the floor is fucking disgusting, which depends on the house you're in, I guess. Let me know if you've ever done that. I've never done it other than I accidentally did that to my buddy, but everybody was aware of what stupid thing I did. I did that once at Quiznos. I had quit Quiznos after being a general manager. I was burnt out. And I want to say like a month or two later, I came back to the company and I came back as an assistant general manager to my brother. And it was at a location in like Louisville, Colorado. Anyway, I was like really nervous to come back. And my job was pretty freaking simple. I was expediting where I take the finished food and then just basically give it to the customer. I fucking dropped it. It's like how fucking shitty we're like super fucking busy. I'm like nervous and I'm like shaking and I dropped the fucking sandwich with a line going to the door. Oh my god, the customer, I remember he was just looking at me like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?" I was so mad because everybody on the line was just like humming. They were just like going fast, and there's me going, "Whoa," and I dropped it. Fucking everybody was pissed. Everybody in the line was pissed because everybody knew dipshit here just dropped the sandwich and slowed up the fucking line. Fuck you guys. You know what? I don't care.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry I made a mistake. This is disgusting. My wife sent me this. I should have finished that word before I said my wife sent me this. Cockroach. A cockroach was extracted from a man's small intestine and it was still alive. Oh my God. The guy was 23 years old. He sought medical care for pain and indigestion, discovered that the source of his agony was a cockroach in his small intestine. How do you get a cockroach up your ass? I don't get that one. Did you eat it? Were you sleeping with your mouth open and that happened? Or were you getting disgusting and you're just like, I have an idea. I'm bored. I'm horny. Let's stick a cockroach up my ass. Is that what happened? That's the story I'm going to lean on. Sure, you could be mature about it and be like, somehow it crawled into his mouth while he was asleep, and that's what happened. That's a terrible way to think about things. No, he was getting freaky and it was just like, you know what? We got cockroaches. Let's see what it does when it goes up my butt. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's so disgusting.
What the fuck?
You know the doctors were confronting him and be like, did you swallow this or did you stick it up your butt?
I didn't do fucking shit.
I know you say that, but we're just sitting there going, there's a lot more obstacles, like stomach acid and whatnot, if it goes through your mouth. So we're just sitting there going, yeah, he probably stuck it up his back end. But you say you didn't.
I didn't do fucking shit.
Okay. Okay. No need to get snippy, you weirdo. Oh, so gross. That's terrible. When I visited Australia the first time, there was cockroaches everywhere because we were right next to the coast. And the place that my brother and his family were staying, they had all these little bitty cockroaches. So freaking disgusting. But you would hear their cat chasing them once the lights got turned off. You hear the cat go, scurrying around trying to grab it. Then all of a sudden, it's like dead silent, and you hear the or the cat just chewing on a fucking cockroach. It's disgusting and different. Those ones were really tiny ones, and then we drove up the coast, and they had bigger ones. And those things were freaking nasty. My wife and I slept with the lights on because they were so freaking gross. Oh, everywhere. I can't stand bugs. Bugs are gross, especially cockroaches. Anyway, hey, you know what? If you're running a business and need help with the back of the house, trust me, I know. As somebody that used to run businesses, I run this business here, the DeHuff Studios LLC. That being said, I don't have a lot of stuff to do. I don't have a lot of numbers to roll around. But when I used to run restaurants, it's a hassle running the back of the house. You need someone with experience and is trustworthy. You need Kirkwall Group. With over 30 years of experience, Richard and the Kirkwall Group understands that you and your business deserve someone who's efficient, timely, accurate, cost-effective, focused on your success, and is working to save you money. Kirkwall Group can help you with your bookkeeping, accounting management services like CFO, controller, accounting manager, projects, and support, as well as tax planning and preparation like income, property tax, sales, and use tax. What you need to do, I'm saying all that stuff, but there's even more. Go to their website, kirkwallgroup.net, and see everything they can do for you and your business. Call or email now for a free 30-minute consultation, 833-547-5925. That's 833 Kirkwall. It's spelled with one L as far as the phone number, okay? But what I'm telling you is you can hit that extra L and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Or you can email Richard directly at RBAIKIE at kirkwallgroup.net. Kirkwall Group, we count what counts for you. Did you see IHOP and Applebee's are joining forces and they have a joint restaurant coming to the United States? It's going to be, I don't know if this is how you say it, Seguin, Texas. It's, I want to say 40 miles north of San Antonio, something like that. I think that's cool. I think that's a great idea because let's be honest, IHOP's good. You go there for breakfast food. You don't go there for their burgers, although their burgers weren't that bad the last time I tried them. But if you combine forces, you got people going there for breakfast foods, which is IHOP, and then Applebee's has pretty legit, lunch and dinner options. I think this is a great move. I can't wait for this to happen here in Colorado. That'd be awesome. I like it when restaurants join forces. I know that they're probably owned by the same company. It's kind of like Taco Bell and KFC. I don't go to KFC. I got to be honest. Not my thing. If I want fried chicken, I'm going to Popeyes. Popeyes is fucking good. Good. The first art piece painted by a humanoid robot sold at auction for $1 million. What the fuck? Basically, see, this is what drives me nuts. It I don't like art because I don't understand art. I think it's a little silly sometimes. But in this situation, I think it's more of a joke. I would rather have something that a human being painted versus a robot painted. Because I just feel like that's just, it just doesn't seem creative. If you painted something and it looks phenomenal, and then a robot painted the exact same thing, I'd rather buy yours than the fucking robot. That's crazy. But what does that tell you? Again, that's more situations where AI, robotics are going to start replacing miscellaneous industries. That's so crazy. What an idiot whoever fucking bought that. Somebody that is just shitting away money. And I'd like to meet that person and get them to invest in the Huff Uncensored. Listen, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'm always looking for investors. You get nothing really in return, but I get everything. I do. Oh, you know what we need to do? Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with the Huff.
Hey, real quick, the Denver Broncos lost yesterday in a heartbreaker at Kansas City at Chiefs Stadium. It was really freaking sad. It was so bad. Like the Broncos were going to win. They lost 16-14. They held them. Their defense did great. The offense looked okay. They marched down the field for their final drive, set themselves up perfectly for the game-winning field goal, and those dickhead Kansas City Chiefs fucking blocked the damn field goal. Arrowhead Stadium just erupts. Fucking Chiefs are still undefeated. Broncos are sitting at, 5-5, something like that. Oh, my God, that pissed me off. So annoying. I know last week we talked about if it was close, that it could be technically in the category that I don't like to acknowledge that exists. But I guess you could say that's a good win. I mean, aside from the final fucking play, the Broncos won. They did. But they lost. That's so frustrating. They deserved to win. But listen, when you watch that game, I mean, I don't think there's too many people complaining about it as far as the officiating or anything like that. The final game, it was just, I haven't looked at it. It looks like whoever the special teams lineman just blew coverage, because there was like 3 or 4 guys from the Chiefs that just got right up in there. That should never fucking happen. How about you do your fucking job? I don't know who officially dropped the ball on that as far as the special teams linemen, but they fucked it up. They fucked it up. It wasn't the kicker's fault? No. It wasn't anything that Sean Payton did? No. They should have won the game. It was a tight, gritty game, and the Chiefs won fair and square. I in my pregame preview last week, I said that the Broncos, could do it, but I had the Chiefs winning. I said by a touchdown. I didn't think it would be that close, 16-14. The Broncos almost won 17-16, but they didn't. Hey, you know what? They almost won. But that's good news for when the Broncos play them at the I believe it's the very last game of the season. They play the Chiefs. So hopefully the Broncos win that one. But next up for the Broncos is the Atlanta Falcons, and I believe that's here in Mile High. So that's good. I believe that the Broncos should win that one. They should. And they're a little pissed off, as they should be. They should have won. They didn't. They fought hard, but they just didn't win. Did you see the CU Buffs Texas Tech game? Can somebody tell me, is that a thing where Texas Tech likes to throw fucking tortillas on the field? That is the most bizarre fucking thing I've seen. They started it at the beginning. They're throwing tortillas. There's a clip I posted on social media at DeHuff Podcast. I put it at least on Twitter and Facebook, where Travis Hunter's playing defense, picks up a tortilla and like stuck it in his pants or something like that. Like, oh shit, snack time. It was so weird. Like, who throws a fucking tortilla? Don't throw anything. And in fact, their head coach, I can't recall his name. He had to grab a microphone late in the fourth quarter to tell the student section to stop throwing shit on the field. They're throwing bottles, they're throwing tortillas, and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's ridiculous. I mean, what a shitty fan base, Texas Tech. You don't be throwing nonsense on the field. My God. What an embarrassment. You can't do that. Although CSU, they got in trouble. Was it this season where they were throwing snowballs on the field? Might have been last season. I don't remember. It must have been last season. Same thing. It's like, come on, man. Act like you've been there. Jesus. So fucking annoying. But a heartbreaker for the Denver Broncos, and good news for the CU Buffs, who are just winning, and they are shutting up the haters. I haven't seen very much hate for Deion Sanders as of late. I know some guy was trying to go at me the other day on Instagram saying that Deion only cares about his kids, and he only talks about his kids like Shiloh and Shadur, right? And Travis Hunter. Those are the only people he talks about. Like, no, it isn't. That's not all he talks about. That's what the media posts clips of, because those are the hot topic names. But if you actually watch a press conference of Deion Sanders, he talks, and he talks glowingly about all his players. He does. Take the time, watch a press conference. If anything, you should be more upset with the media who's going with the hot name. And to be honest, I'm part of that problem. I cut up video for Mile High Sports, and I use the hot topic stuff because I know they're not going to use all the stuff I can cut up. So I got to go, okay, what are the, like, say 3 hot clips that I can grab? And if he's talking about Travis Hunter, who's a Heisman candidate, that's going to, receive a lot of interaction. Or Shadur Sanders, same thing. That's what I'm going to be clipping, and that's what they're going to post. So I know that it seems I say blame the media, but then it's just like it's not necessarily the media's fault either, because it's who's consuming it, who's consuming the media. Do you want to know about miscellaneous guys that are good but maybe not as good? No, you're probably going to be like, who fucking cares about this guy? I want to hear something about Shadur. I want to hear something about Travis Hunter, stuff like that. So you can sit there and get mad at Deion for doing that, but that's not the full story. He does talk about everybody. I mean, he loves his kicker. Like, you watch a press conference, he loves talking about his kicker because of his attitude and all this stuff. And that, what do they say? It's Mata time. He says that, but nobody clips that. Or if they do clip it, nobody's really watching it because nobody wants to hear him talking about fucking kicker, right? You got to go with the majority. Majority rules when it comes to social media and just media in general. That it's just the way it goes. You go with what sells. And when you're cutting up a press conference, you got to go, okay, what am I going to get max consumption out of? And that's what you got to do. You can't post everything, because at first I was clipping just about every single thing when they asked me to start helping with the videos. But then I realized they're only using like 3 of them. I could give them 20 cuts and they're not going to use them. So I just have to use what they're going to, I have to clip what they're going to use. So it is what it is. But congratulations to the CU Buffs. Obviously, we already knew they were bowl eligible as of the previous week, and now they're continuing to win. And we'll see how they do. We'll see where they end up. I don't know where they're ranked as of right now, but they were ranked 20th going into the game, so that's fucking phenomenal. Everybody was shitting on them the first, say 4 games, 5 games of the season. Now look at them. Good for Deion Sanders. Good for that team. But the big, heavy question surrounding the Colorado Buffaloes football team is, what happens next year when Shadur Sanders is in the NFL and Travis Hunter is in the NFL? What happens then? Is Deion still going to be there? And if he is there, how long is he going to be invested in this? Because it's not going to be the same team. Shadur, whether people like him or not, is irrelevant. He's a good fucking quarterback. And I can't remember the name of the guy that's the backup, but here's the thing. He's going to be taking the reins, and is he going to be just as good? Is he going to be okay? And what does that mean for that football team? It's going to be interesting to see what this program's like in a year or two. Is Deion still going to be there? And what is it? I mean, you're playing now with two elite football players in Shadur and in Travis, but you subtract them from this team, what do you got? And they're not the only ones that are going to part ways. So obviously it's the next man up, but what is this team going to be looking like next year? So ride this wave now. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's going to look like next season, as well as like 2 seasons from now. It's going to be fascinating. Fascinating. Hey, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. I know some of you got hit by those crazy hailstorms back in May. I did. Oh, my God. And if you're one of those who are waiting till the end of hail season or just procrastinating on getting it fixed in one way or another, if you've been in Denver, by the way, for the past like 5 years, I'm sure you've experienced all that hail damage in some fashion. The hard part is finding a trustworthy repair shop to fix your vehicle the right way. Trust me, there's some you think it might be good, and then you're there and you're like, no. The team at Game Time PDR is that Denver local trustworthy shop. They are amazing. I was talking to Anthony the other day, and him and his team are just phenomenal. They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back into your vehicle. Now, to celebrate the end of hail season and those procrastinators at you, I'm pointing at you. Okay, if you're a procrastinator out there, they are offering a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. I feel like I need to go just don't do this, but and you better not tell my wife. I may go get a hammer and just start smashing up my wife's car. I'm not going to do it to mine. Do it to hers. Don't do that. Do not do that. Okay? Anyway, Game Time PDR has an expert claim specialist on staff to take the hassle out of dealing with insurance claims and makes it a seamless process. Game Time PDR will pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see the vehicle in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible because they work and advocate for their customers first before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's experience and expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians on the fucking planet. They didn't write fucking I added it. Sorry, guys. Sorry. What you need to do is call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, 303-955-8200 to schedule an evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. Let's see. You know what we need to do? I forgot about this. I'm a little scatterbrained today doing this at night, and I apologize. I'm not really apologizing. I'm just killing time till I get this open.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from Jim from the DTC. Said, DeHuff, how creepy is this? And then he attached an article. Lamar Odom criticized after ordering an $8,000 custom sex doll modeled on his ex, Khloe Kardashian. Dude, that's jacked up. That's jacked up. But in a weird way, if your ex paid to have a sex doll to look just like you, wouldn't that be a compliment in a weird, twisted way? Like if one of you guys or ladies out there, like, hey, DeHuff, can I use your face for something? I'm like, sure, why not? And then they send me a picture like a month or two later, be like, look, I have a sex doll and it looks just like you. I'd be like, it's creepy, but oddly arousing. Oddly arousing. Oh my gosh. I'd be flattered. So basically what I'm saying, guys, is you're more than welcome to use my image to make a sex doll. It may actually be more depressing after a while, but hey. Like, this is the sadness doll. It's designed after podcaster Scott DeHuff. Basically, you can cuddle with it and cry on its shoulder, and it's gonna pleasure you not very well. Not very well. Ooh, boy, that sounds exciting.
You have a massive erection.
I do now. Yes, I do. Woo. I say that's flattering, but imagine being her new boyfriend. I assume she has a new boyfriend. If not, whatever. But imagine if she's moved on and then you find out her ex has a sex doll that looks just like her. And he openly admitted, I want it to look like her. Wouldn't that be kind of fucked up? Yeah, that's jacked. The more I think about it, like looking at it from another person's perspective, she might be a little flattered by it. Maybe. I don't know. But everybody else, wouldn't you think you'd be creeped out? Be like, oh my God, because you know what he's doing with it. It's not like, what I was joking around, but like you cuddle it or whatever. No, you're fucking the doll that looks like your friend or your family member. That's just no. Gross. So fucked up. I go back and forth on that though. As a dude, I think it would be super flattering. Like if some lady's just like, I had a sex doll made. It looks just like you. It has a 12-inch penis, and I'll be like, yeah, that looks just like me, right? Right? Yeah, okay. You live in that fantasy world, girl. You do. I mean, it would be slightly flattering, right? I think if you're a lady, you look at this completely opposite than as a guy. But I guess in a weird, twisted way, it's I don't know. I think that's God. The more I'm thinking about this in real time, is just, I mean, that's adding fuel to the delusion that he still has a chance with her, and they broke up, and that's a negative. He needs to move on. He has a lot of issues that he's been working through. I believe he almost died due to overdose, something like that. He's been dealing with a lot of shit. This isn't healthy for him. It's probably technically not healthy for anybody to do this. But shit, if there's a Scott DeHuff sex doll out there, I want to know. I want to know how popular it is or unpopular it is. We sold one, but it was by mistake, and we had to they returned it, and then we had to give them the upgrade to Carrot Top. People would rather bang a Carrot Top sex doll than a Scott DeHuff sex doll. Okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's the red crazy hair and its weird eyes. I just turns me on so much. That's fascinating. Jim, thank you so much for sending me that. That's bizarre. Jim actually sent that via email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com, but you can send via email, or you can hit me up on my socials, whether it's direct message or on my timeline at DeHuff Podcast. I love hearing from you guys. Matt OFP sent me something that was fascinating. It's not air-worthy or show-worthy, but it was fascinating. It doesn't have to necessarily go with the show, but it could just be conversation. I love hearing from you guys. I love interacting with you guys. Kyle got mad at me on Facebook. I think it was more tongue-in-cheek because I posted that Bronco field goal getting blocked. And I said, freaking Chiefs. And he's like, you're the one that picked against them. I was like, I know. I didn't want to, but it just that I could just see it happening. I didn't think it was going to be that tight of a game. But man, that's still such a heartbreaking loss for the Denver Broncos. But I think they bounce back against the Falcons. We'll get into that later in the week. Big thanks to you guys for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. I got to go let the dog outside before I go to bed. And it's going to be a busy day off for me tomorrow. But this, you guys won't know. You guys won't know. You won't. You won't. But if you see me at the zoo, say hi. Okay? I'll be the guy going, get over here. Come on. Knock it off. Don't climb over the fence. I don't want to. Somebody has a camera. You don't want to be internet famous for this. Get trampled by a freaking, I'm trying to think like a giraffe or some shit. Isn't that, real quick, is that not a fear of yours if you have kids, small kids especially, that you don't want to be that parent that just doesn't realize that your kid climbed up the wall and falls over into, an area where all the animals are? They're like, holy shit, he fell into the gorilla pit or whatever. Because there's some spots like it's kind of iffy, especially at the Denver Zoo. You're like, you could easily fall in, especially if you're sitting there exhausted as a parent, go, fuck, these guys won't stop, running around, causing problems, blah, blah, blah. They're always like, feed me, love me, blah, change my diaper. Oh my God, it's always something with these children. Next thing you know, they crawl over the thing and they're face to face with a cheetah, right? Next thing you know, that's happening. And some dickhead McGee is over there with their camera instead of trying to help you. Anyway, that always went through my head. Not as much now, not as much. But still, there's times where I'm like, what are you doing? Don't climb that. I know it's a pig, okay? But I don't want you to climb over there and then, I have to go climb down there and rescue you from some little, razorback pig or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. And big thanks to Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time PDR, and, of course, Bet Online. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'm going to go get some sleep, and shit's going to get weird. I don't know why I said that. I shouldn't have said that. I should have just ended the show right then and there. Sometimes I have verbal diarrhea. Anyway, you guys are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.